Listen up! It's going down! The Piledriver podcast! Let's go! We from the O! You need to know! We got Mike, Vince, and Tony on the show! Piledriver! Piledriver podcast! It's the Piledriver podcast!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sunday, February 2nd, and it is time for a new episode of the Piledriver. I am the best in the world. To my left is Stabby Vince, and down below is the one and only Tony Forge.
What's up?
Seems like I haven't seen you guys in ages since yesterday.
All right.
We all got together and hang out and watched the Royal Rumble yesterday. It was a good time. Friends and food was had all around. What did you guys think of the Rumble?
Slow start. It was kind of like little, I don't know, the women's Rumble. There was like so many kip ups, and it was kind of got a little cheesy there for a little bit. Yeah. But I don't know, when that Cody Kevin match got over with, it was all heat, all gas, no brakes at that point.
The Motor City Machine Guns and DIY match was solid. Like, it was a good wrestling match, but compared to the Kevin Owens Cody Rhodes match, dude, that shit was wild.
That Alabama Slam, like, broke that ladder in half. Like, that's so crazy.
Couldn't even see his head
today. I saw something today that they were like, on AEW, they would have done that spot and then immediately got back up and went to do something else.
Yes.
Like that wouldn't have been a spot to end the match on.
100%
and like,
though.
Dude, I thought he was going to pile drive Cody Rhodes on that table.
I wish, man. I was ready for it. On the ladder. Yeah.
We were all getting hyped for it.
But back to the Women's Rumble. I mean, going into it, everybody fucking knew who was going to win, and I hate it. Not a fan of Charlotte Flair. I never have been. Not because she's not good. Like, I don't like Sasha Banks because I think she can't wrestle. I don't like Charlotte Flair because I feel like she was handed everything because of her last name. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's got like 14 titles or something like that. It's like she's got like 14 title reigns. And some of them, I guarantee you, are less than like a week or 2 weeks long. Like she paper championed this until she lost it next week or something. Like,
she had an NXT like world title that they counted for a year or two, and I think they've taken it off of her record now because she's gotten so many. It's like, well, we need her to back off a minute, so let's not count this NXT one. Like,
right, because she's gonna break her dad's record.
Yeah, before, like, she'll have 10 years to still wrestle, and she can't ever win another world title because of it.
Yeah. She looked great. She had the Stone Cold knee brace on her left knee, covered. Like, I'm talking, it was mid-thigh all the way down to the calf. It covered that knee.
What happened?
Where'd Tony go?
Tony!
Come back.
No!
Well, we don't know what happened to Tony, but we'll get Tony back. But like I said, dude, she had the knee brace covering her whole knee. It seemed she didn't really move the best, in my opinion, either. Like, there were some moves where she came with it. It looked like old Charlotte, and it didn't seem like old Charlotte.
Moving in slow motion.
I'm not a fan of her umpteenth number of plastic surgeries. I think she looked fine before. I thought she was a very attractive lady. And now she just kind of looks fake.
That'll happen. So many Botox and stuff. Yeah, Tony's back.
The button I shouldn't have pushed. The button I shouldn't have pushed.
I will say I was pleasantly surprised. Some pretty good surprises in the women's match. I'm a big Trish fan, so seeing Trish come out and actually put on a really solid show, that was great. Jordan Grace, I was really hyped on that too.
Amanda said she thought the Women's Rumble was mid. I mean, I agree. I was pumped for Jordan Grace to come out. Trish Stratus, the laugh threw me off for some reason, and I got it confused with the Bella. And it was funny because I did not know that Abella was coming out, and Abella ended up, Nikki
Yeah, she
Bella
still
ended
came
up
out,
coming
right.
out at number 30. Really, the surprise entrance, I guess, we've been in the past, we've been more like surprise entrances are, legends and shit like that. And sure, we got Nikki Bella and Trish Stratus, but the real surprises this year were the NXTs. You had the Roxanne Perez, who now holds the record for the longest time spent in the Women's Royal Rumble.
Right.
Yeah.
NXT. Lash Legend made a debut. Jada Parker, Julia, Stephanie Vakir. The Women's Rumble was stacked, man. And I mean, aside from the 500 kip ups, it was pretty solid. It was pretty solid. I mean,
I'm telling you, that was a troll spot. They were like, Charlotte's gonna kip up at the end of her thing. Let's all do one.
And they did. Everybody
did. It was like 8 of
every
them.
time they got knocked down, they kept up. But then and you had the return of Alexa Bliss, which
That was awesome.
was really cool. Apparently, her jacket said "Friends."
Yeah.
It said "Fiend Forever," but she put like an R and an S in it, so it said "Friends Forever." Lily the doll had a 6 in its left eye, circled by a red circle, and as we all know, every member of the Wyatt Six has a circle with a 6 on it on their attire somewhere. So I'm assuming Alexa Bliss joins up with the Wyatt Six. It only makes sense.
It only makes sense. The pop for Alexa was awesome.
So good.
Wow, so good. I mean, yeah, that was probably one of the best pops of the Women's Royal Rumble. She definitely got a better pop than fucking Charlotte.
Yeah, oh, for sure, for sure.
My only downside that I was upset about was we didn't get the man back. I miss Becky Lynch.
Yep.
You
and
know,
then I would have been happy to see AJ Lee, like you were calling it.
And AJ Lee, CM Punk, he hinted to it multiple times, that like maybe she could make a return. Maybe she could make a return. And nope.
Yeah.
That's okay though. That's okay. She's doing her thing. Last I heard, she was doing writing books and stuff, and whatever. I'm sure she was at the Royal Rumble cheering on CM Punk. So
she was doing stuff with Wow Women's of Wrestling, like commentating or doing something
Okay.
a year or two back. I mean, she's been doing some wrestling stuff, so I don't know.
Hopefully we can keep our fingers crossed that one day the Black Widow will return.
Right.
Like we said, the Motor City Machine Guns DIY was 2 out of 3 falls. It was okay. It wasn't, it wasn't nothing to write home about. Yeah, it was a quick kind of match. Each team got their finishers in. It wasn't nothing to write home about, in my opinion. It was a good wrestling match. So DIY able to retain.
Yeah, I don't think they had enough time.
The 2 out of 3 falls match, I don't know. It always has given me like iffy about it, because it's really like, again, if I tap you out and you tap, we're gonna get up and I'm immediately coming back to tap you out again.
Yeah.
You're like, if I just hit you with, let's say I hit you with an attitude adjustment and I pin you 1, 2, 3, I'm standing up and I'm dropping right back down and pinning you again.
Well, and even it's weird too, because if you do it back-to-back falls, do you count it like that's a burial for the other team or other person that loses, that they just lost 2 in a row? Or is it the always stereotypical 1-1 and then go to the final, which what was the point in the first place? So
exactly.
Yeah.
And and it's exactly what happened last night. It went to a third fall. So it's not like,
I liked what I didn't catch it at first. They did like the hot tag, and Johnny kind of like scooped his hand away, made the other team think he got the tag, and that allowed Ciampa to, pick up the win for that fall. So that was I'd never seen that before. That was cool.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and I expect nothing less. We've watched DIY kill it for years. So for them to, it was a great showing. And then it's men's Rumble time. Oh, sorry, Cody, and Kevin Owens ladder match for this title. The winged eagle hanging. It was gorgeous. All right, that's what I'm hoping we get out of this. Is I hope we get that winged eagle back at some point and some reimagining. Like we're not
Right.
going to get the old school belt. Just take the new belt and the winged eagle belt and merge them together. And like I think it would be beautiful.
For
You know,
sure.
like you put the new WWE logo kind of at the bottom and have the winged eagle sitting on top of it.
That would
Like,
be cool.
It
Coming
could
off.
look, really sweet. Yeah. So I hope they do something with that winged eagle. But man, this match was ruthless.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, from start to finish, too. Like these guys beat the hell out of each other. Like multiple
Yeah.
spots. You know, there was a moment where you almost saw one of the ladders fall into the crowd. They were throwing each other on the ladders all the wrong ways. I mean, we saw Kevin get his like whole like back dropped on that one corner of the top of the ladder. Like they were literally just killing each other on ladders. I've never really seen it like that.
That one spot where Kevin Owens does that suplex off the top rope and he threw Cody into that, like it looked like Kevin Owens took the brunt of that more than more than Cody did.
Yeah.
But both of them, and I even said this last night when we were watching, it seemed like every time Cody Rhodes took like a giant move, he was only down like 2 seconds. He kind of no-sold everything. Like he was like, I'm a superhero.
Superhero. Yep.
I like that they used the Swoggle ladder. I was really hoping that Swoggle was just going to pop out at one point.
I know Vince is waiting for Swoggle. He signed that Legends deal, and Vince is about it.
My guy, dude. Dylan's my dude.
Now let's get into this men's Royal Rumble. Obviously, like we said, Kevin was getting Alabama slammed and thrown in. I really thought Sammy was going to come into this too. I thought Sammy was going to come into play.
I thought he would do something. Yeah.
Him being out there just kind of standing. And then how fucked up was it? Let's talk about this because I forgot about this too. Let's talk. How fucked up was it that after Cody Rhodes wins, he goes over and stands on the table right above Kevin Owens? Like, that was kind of heelish, in my opinion.
That's the way they've been kind of driving Cody lately. I feel like we're gonna get a heel Cody soon.
I'm okay with it. Bullet Club Cody's my favorite Cody of all time. So
yeah, right. Yeah, because he definitely did not have to do that.
Yeah, he's just standing over top of him, raising the title above, while the camera's like underneath Kevin Owens, looking up, and Kevin Owens is just bleeding. Cody Rhodes is behind him, holding up the belt. Like, what an insane photo! We moved on to the men's Royal Rumble after this. Now, this match started off with what potentially could be the biggest luchador feud of all time.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio versus Penta. 1-on-1 to start the match. Rey Mysterio threw Penta out. Both of his feet touched the floor.
Both of them. No.
So
one foot.
Both of them touched the floor. Immediately. And Penta in his mind was like, oh shit, I fucked up.
They
even acknowledge it on commentary.
Yes. They were like, only one touched the floor. Like, nah, we saw.
It's all right. Just keep going.
Yeah, keep going, but we saw.
Don't try to be in there a long time.
But great booking to have the next person come out be Chad Gable. With the whole history of the hating the luchadors, that shit was really, really funny. It was really good, dude. Like the whole Rumble, I thought the positioning of people was great.
That makes a big difference.
Surprise entrance were good. Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
I Show Speed was hilarious. Like
the Akira Tawazawa going into the I Show Speed was pretty funny too. Like I was like, okay.
Yeah. As soon as Akira Tozawa comes running out, we were all like, oh, what the fuck? Waste of pick on him. And then he gets beat down. Like Triple H is like, oh shit, we got to do something. Speed, get out there.
He's like, oh, what? Wait, I'm not ready.
Dude, this shit was golden for real. Like I know he's not a wrestler. He's just, an internet streamer, whatever you want to call him, an influencer or whatever. But the way he got in there, he tried to eliminate Chad Gable. Didn't work. And then he goes
He
for
like
Otis.
helped eliminate Otis. Yeah,
He
yeah.
helped Braun eliminate Otis, which actually, and I looked it up, credits I Show Speed with an elimination in the Royal Rumble. So he did something. I mean, and then he did a backflip. And I think I've watched this clip fucking like 500 times since then. He's doing, they got it on hard cam. He hits a backflip and he's like cheering. He's like, yeah. And then behind him, you just see Braun Breaker take off and he's like, boing, boing, brah, and just destroys this kid.
Broke him in half. It was so good. That was one of the best spears I've ever seen. Braun like speared 4 people and threw them out with like within the 5 seconds he was in the match too. That was awesome.
Yeah, Braun Breaker is something else. Like, who said it last night? Somebody said like he runs the ropes at like 28 miles an hour or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's like 22 or 23. Yeah, I think I said 28 last night, and I watched it again.
Crazy.
It's still crazy.
I can't even run the ropes, and he can do it like that.
Like, he's taking like 2 steps. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like one turn, and he hit the rope on another rope, dude. That's insane. I think the biggest letdown of the Royal Rumble was Logan Paul coming in at number 30.
Agreed.
That was trashy.
Could have been anybody else, and we would have been.
It could have been anybody else. He could have came out at any other number. He could have came out at 29 and let somebody else come out at 30. But at one point, man,
Joe Henry came out at 30. That would have been crazy.
At one point, we had the ring just full of stars. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins,
like 7 or 8,
Reigns, dude, it's like just craziness. And then Logan Paul comes up, fucking eliminates CM Punk eliminates Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And then Logan Paul throws out CM Punk.
Yeah, like of all people too. Get out of here.
Seth Rollins afterwards goes apeshit on CM Punk and just starts attacking. Curb stomps Roman Reigns on the floor. Curb stomps Roman Reigns. Yeah.
Double foot.
Curb stomps Roman Reigns on the steel steps. And then as he's walking out, gives Paul Heyman this giant middle finger. Like, Logan Paul gets thrown out. It comes down to Jey Uso and John Cena. Everybody and their mama has written the ticket for John Cena to go to WrestleMania at this point. And they were back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We all know it by now. The winner of the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble. Yeet. Main event Jey Uso has really solidified his name as main event Jey Uso. He will be in the main event of WrestleMania, dude.
Oh yeah, big facts there.
Like, I think I saw something, this morning, and I think the biggest thing about it is like he's a tag team wrestler. Very rarely do you see tag team wrestlers, able to split off and have a successful solo career. It hasn't really worked for Big Jim, but
Big Jim, my man. That's so wild. Like, just hearing
was that the first time?
Dude, I don't know. I've never heard him call him Big Jim before, but Jimmy
on
Uso.
SmackDown or nothing? Yeah, it's Jimmy
no.
Uso.
Like, I mean, he came out with that jersey that says Big Jim on the back of it. McAfee and everybody else was saying Big Jim. I was like, what is this? Like, and then it kind of works.
I thought they were just kind of joshing with it, like just
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I see him get thrown over the fucking rope, and on the back of his jersey it says Big Jim. I'm like, oh my God.
I need me a Big Jim jersey, like real bad.
Yeah, a big gym jersey would be top notch. I mean,
You
so
know,
yeah, we
it's
got
commercial now.
Jay Uso going up against, I'm gonna guess, obviously, Gunther again. And we're gonna get the whole I can overcome it. I didn't beat you here, but I'm gonna beat you now on the biggest stage of them all. And
Yep.
like, it's not guaranteed. All right, they did put this out there the other day that it's not guaranteed. It's 73%. WWE put this stat out. 73% of guys who went on to win the Royal Rumble went on to win the title. So that means 27% fucking lost.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, you're shooting 1 out of 4 here. Jay Uso is going to choose Gunther again, who they fought on Saturday Night Main Event. But, like,
I don't know, man. I think Jay's getting it, man.
I mean, I think he's going to get it too. I think he's going to go on and win it and have the whole, Jay Uso Survivor by myself. I don't need my brother. I don't need the bloodline. I got fucking yeet. That's fine. But
Pat McAfee was saying some wild stuff that included yeet, and I will not repeat them.
Dude, he was nuts. That's my only downfall that I hate about tomorrow night is like, if we're going to Raw tomorrow night and play, if you can't hear the commentary, like you have to go back and watch. I hate that I can't hear the commentary. Like it fucking sucks. But I guess we could like watch it on Netflix. Like I put the earphones in while I'm on Netflix. But yeah, tomorrow night Raw is live at what is it, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse these days? I keep wanting to call it the Q.
Romo Fijo.
The Romo Fijo Monday Night Raw live on Netflix will be in Cleveland, live from Cleveland. So your boys will be there. Make sure I'll try to go live at some point as I'm walking around in the concourse here. So, but that overall, I thought it was a pretty solid Rumble. That I read people saying it was the best Rumble of all time, and I will definitely not say that.
I mean, come on. There was a Rumble that had Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and Mankind come out. I mean, there's really no comparison to even that, and that's to me still not the best Rumble. So,
I mean, that's true. We didn't get it. I mean, in my opinion, I wanted more. We didn't get a legend at all last night.
We got AJ Styles.
AJ Styles
that was cool. And like you said, like Joe Hendry was a big one. It wasn't as star-studded. It wasn't as legend-studded, but it was star-studded.
Right. Yeah, because like I don't know. I remember 10, 15 years ago, it was a lot on the mid card. And it was half the Rumble, 3/4 of the Rumble. You're waiting around for a couple of stars to pop up or a couple of legends so you can actually pop. Now you got 7 main eventers in there. So at least the whole thing is compelling. But yeah, you don't get those big returns.
Yeah, like back in the day, Tony, you're talking about like you had 8 Ball and Tugboat going in the.
Yeah, well, even just
Warlord and.
Yeah,
like 3-man band and shit. All those guys back in the day, including Drew McIntyre from back then. Like it was a bunch of nobodies that filled it out. You had to have somebody to come back and pop the crowd.
So,
Jacob Fatu came through. He did a great showing. Like he looked wild. He had the crazy eyes, man. Like
dude, he kept doing the boogeyman thing. I saw this video today that, like if you've ever played Fortnite, you hold down to emote and it gives you like a wheel of emotes. It was like it had Jacob Fatu standing there throwing up the one next to Solo. And it was like this dude just be randomly emoting. And the emote thing popped up on the screen and it went to one and Jacob Fatu went like this. I don't get it. I don't fucking get the craziness, but I fucking love it. So
I do.
Jacob Fatu with a strong showing. He broke, went out of kayfabe last night when Jay came back and he, hugged Jay, had a Yeet shirt on and everything in the back. So congratulations to Jay Uso. And then the last thing I want to say about the Royal Rumble, I don't know if any of you watched the press conference and specifically the John Cena part. John Cena came out and said, I'm going to be in the Elimination Chamber. He was like, essentially, WrestleMania isn't WrestleMania. The main event of WrestleMania isn't the main event of WrestleMania without me in it. I'm going to win number 17. That way I can be here to shake the hand of the person who wins number 18.
Cool.
So John Cena's already announced himself to be in the Elimination Chamber, which is on March 1st. So, I'm sure we'll be talking about that as it gets closer. But coming up this weekend, down in Clarksburg, Harrison County Parks and Rec, RSW is back with Headed for a Heartbreak, and this card is stacked. Not only is it stacked, we are being joined by one of the competitors tonight. I've watched this man do some violent things. And the name fits, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Piledriver podcast, Violent Vance Desmond.
Oh, fellas.
How are
What's up,
you?
Vance?
How are you?
So I was listening to your Royal Rumble thing there. Do all you guys like Jey Uso?
He's all right. Like, I'm not,
Mm-mm.
I'm not sold on
I'm
him.
not a big fan.
Yeah, I feel like he's not a. If you like wrestlers,
Yeah.
Right.
He's not a wrestler. He's a entertainer's wrestler, and I
Yeah.
had a feeling you guys wouldn't. But when you were talking about him, I'm like, you sound a little excited. I wonder.
Well, I'm excited tomorrow to go to Raw. Like, the whole crowd's gonna do it. It's gonna be fun. Like,
But that's all that
yeah,
it is.
that's it.
You guys know that Yeet wasn't even his thing first.
No, I didn't actually.
Guy I wrestle with down at ASW, Huff Manley, was the Yeet thing, and that's why Jay had to not use it for a little bit, but now he's allowed to again.
Oh, that's right. I remember hearing
Yeah.
about that.
Oh
Yeah, so that
when
was
they had it bleeped out and they covered all
They
their
had it
shirts.
bleeped.
and
Yep.
stuff.
yeah, it's because
Wow.
Huff actually had the trademark on that, so that had to be figured out first. So
Scott in the chat said he's a spot monkey. It's funny because last year we were talking about this last time when we were watching the Rumble, and I think it was last year was it at the Rumble or was it at WrestleMania where Uso fought Uso, and all it was 16 super kicks.
Oh,
Yeah,
was that
whole
WrestleMania?
match.
Yes.
And I was like, this is, he doesn't do anything nor like good, like Vance said, move wise. You might get a Samoan drop every once in a while.
well, it's not even a move thing to me. It's a crispness. All his stuff, like every bump he takes, he's doing the look back to make sure where he's landing. He's doing I got to get my arms down. If you can take it less than, he will take it less than, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's not, and like when he hits even when he hits the corners, he doesn't hit the corners real hard. Like everything he does is, I feel like most guys would work that way in a house show, and he doesn't have like that next gear. I've never, in some of their tag matches, he could in bursts because you get little breaks. But I just,
Right.
as a singles wrestler, I just don't think he's still not used to working that much in a row, like being consistent, 20 minutes all you or whatever. So
Yeah.
he babies himself, and I just don't like it. So it's not even the moves. I don't care about what moves does Roman Reigns do. He does less than Jey Uso, but that dude's a star. I mean, and everything he does, and the way he bumps is the opposite. He's a dude who I would expect to be protecting himself. He's older, part-time schedule, all that kind of stuff, and that dude does not protect himself whatsoever. So
leukemia, like Roman Reigns with leukemia. No, but I agree with you. I don't know, and I think the biggest draw for it is that he sells T-shirts, and that's WWE's always been about that. He sells merch, and that he's hot, so that they're gonna put it on him.
I mean, I don't disagree with their pushing of him. It makes sense business wise, and that's what it is. I just personally not a fan to watch his matches.
It makes sense money wise, but logically, there's no way he should ever beat Gunther.
No.
Like, I've seen Gunther slap the chest off of grown men. Like,
well, plus they've had
him afterward.
He's been losing. Like Jay's lost every big match he's been in the past 6 months. So,
and now he's going to go in and win. I think it's going to be
Intercontinental champion for a minute, and that was it.
Oh, yeah.
Overall, like I said, it wasn't a bad Rumble. I wanted a superstar to win. I wanted to see him. I want CM Punk versus John Cena at WrestleMania. That's what I want. CM Punk deserves it, and I want John Cena to get number 17 because I'm not the biggest Ric Flair fan. But let's talk about this coming weekend. Headed for a heartbreak back at Clarksburg at the Harrison County Parks and Rec Center. Vance, you got a match, man, and I haven't heard much of this kid. He looks young. He's been on GCW. I don't know if that means anything to you.
I don't recognize him.
I don't recognize
I
him.
looked up his GCW because I was like, I didn't know he was. He had a 4-way in GCW that I watched, and then got murdered by Jinder Mahal, chokeslammed into outer space. If you guys remember that clip, that's him.
Okay.
Okay. So I believe this is his RSW debut. He's coming down. But let's not talk about that. There's some other matches on the card. Let's get your opinion on these, Vance. I want to know, you got Chris Onyx and Pastor CeeLo. These men have been going back and forth. They're tied 1 apiece. We got a 2 out of 3 falls. And Tony, this falls into what I was talking about. If it goes to a 3rd fall, put a stipulation on that 3rd fall.
Right, there you go.
This one, if it happens to go to a 3rd fall,
yeah.
it becomes a no disqualification match on that 3rd fall.
Well, I saw Chris Onyx's main event up in Parma, and I think he's on a roll right now. So I think I definitely got to say he's got momentum.
Yeah, after going up against and taking the win from King Brasa, Chris Onyx going in hot to Pastor CeeLo. This match, okay. I know you got no skin in this game. Not familiar with the Sawyer brothers, but normally with RSW we get these fire ass 4-ways. This is a tag team title gauntlet match where the Golden Boys essentially have to beat 4 different teams to retain here.
Holy crap.
Feisty Boys, the team of Paulie and Big Cody, that Saturday Night Special, Marcus Twist and DD Vice, the team of Misery Inc., Troy and B. And then, like I said, Sawyer Brothers, I'm not familiar with, but they look scary. This dude looks like he killed whatever he's wearing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, give us a little insight, Vance. Are you familiar with these Sawyer Brothers? Have you seen them before?
Sawyer Brothers, I don't know. I know every other team there. I mean, you got everybody from experienced tag teams like Saturday Night Special, and then the Feisty Boys just started teaming up. But I mean, it's a good result so far for sure. The Golden Boys, I like those kids. They want it. You can see it in the locker room. They asked me to watch their stuff and tell them how they can get better, and I'm just impressed with them. And I like to see them keep rolling. Misery Inc. I just don't understand them. I don't think anyone does. I think that's part of the thing. But I mean, they're vicious little guys. I mean, they will like a pack of wolves. And now they got the big man with them too. So I mean, that could change everything. That's the thing they were missing, is they aren't the biggest dudes, but now they got a big dude.
Yeah, now they got an enforcer, so to speak.
Yeah. So, and they were good before that. So what's going to change now? Now I don't know the Sawyer brothers. I wouldn't want to be in a room with them, but from the picture.
No, yeah, exactly. I always, when I've never seen anybody before, I totally judge their promo picture, and I'm like, let's use the dude. We got some pictures we'll get into here in a little bit, but I'm gonna reference him real quick. The dude you wrestled, I can't remember the name of the show. I think it was Grinchomania. Victor Benjamin.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
His promo, that dude looks scary as shit in his promo picture. Like, so I was like, okay.
Well, plus he's a trained MMA fighter and a kickboxer, so like things could go real south for me.
Yeah, no, 100%. And we'll get into that. We got some photos we're gonna pull up here. We got Matthew Taylor, the only RSW title holder able to, kind of bypass Theo Strong's Fuzz Fest win here. So I've heard that's something's going down, and we will see Matt Taylor versus Theo Strong here soon. But for now, Matthew Taylor will be defending against Rico De La Vega, who I'm not familiar with.
I'm not familiar with Rico either. I'm very familiar with Matt Taylor. I saw Matt Taylor first time in like 2000 six ish. I remember him at RCW, and even then I was like, "Oh, this kid's," because someone told me, "Hey, watch this guy's match." I watched it. It's super talented, and me and him have been buddies for better part of almost 20 years. At least 15, and we never got a chance to wrestle each other until here this last year in RSW, and we had 4 matches together. And I mean, Matt Taylor is as advertised, so good, knows everything there is to know about professional wrestling, and just out of my bias, I don't see that belt going anywhere because I mean, how he got that belt is beating me. So if he
Yep.
can beat me, I'm going to have to go with Matt Taylor in this one.
No,
Ooh, I like that
100%.
a lot.
All three of us are devout followers of the gospel of the light.
Mm,
I've loved Matt
mhm.
Taylor since the first time I locked eyes with the guy in OCW when I was running Roman Cam. I was like, wow, he's good. Like the way he commands the crowd, whether you love him or you hate him. I mean, it's the same with you. It's the same with you, man. The way the crowd really don't like you a lot, but that's okay. They don't get greatness sometimes. But Matt Taylor, yeah, the way I've seen him just carry everything, the way he wrestles, the pageantry in the ring is
I
top
mean,
notch.
and that I saw him before he was doing this um, type of thing. His whole followers and almost religious esque, character. And when he started doing this, is when he just took off. Just, I mean, he's made for this. So I mean, people don't realize he wrestled in Ring of Honor, and he, at one point, like, he was going to be the next dude, and we're just lucky to still have him here and get to see him. So
No,
That's
100%.
awesome.
I love Matt
Yep.
Taylor. Now, this guy, I believe both of these men you're very familiar with, Shane Kryzak and Benny Conley, former Heritage champ. I know Shane was a former champion, as internet champion as well. I haven't got to see Benny Conley wrestle a bunch. I've seen Shane wrestle a bunch, and this dude's very good and very technical.
oh yeah, Kryzak, hard hitting, very technical wrestler. In the same ilk as someone works a style like Brian Danielson. So
Good
submission
comparison.
and also strikes. But Benny Conley's kind of the same way. And if there's anyone who's a better technical wrestler than Kryzak, it could be Conley, honestly. I mean,
Okay.
Jason Kincaid, you ought to see him and Jason Kincaid get in the ring
Mm.
together. It is just
Not
beautiful
if Vince is coming to
flows,
the show.
Yeah, if
hold
I'm
to
coming around.
hold. So, I mean, both these guys are spectacular technical wrestlers. If you like technical wrestling, this is going to be very good.
Cool. Oh yeah.
Yeah, not if Vince is coming around. Every time me and Vince go to any show, whether it be in Ohio or West Virginia, and Jason Kincaid's book, something happens and he's not there.
He
Can't
scared
make
me. What can I
it.
say? He scared of me.
I've wrestled him
And
twice in RSW, so he makes it sometimes. Just
It's not all the
and
time. Not when
you
I'm around.
know, this match we've seen, we don't know what the stakes are, what the winner will be getting, but the unlucky 13 Rumble. It's got some stars on here. You got Rucker, you got Big Nasty Vinny Maverick, Gen Z, Colt Johnson, Logan Taylor, among vacant. Muscles is in there. Sam Handeman. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the winner gets out of this. So, I mean, this could just be fun for everybody involved. Watch
I
out
mean,
for
this.
Big Nasty. Good luck trying to get him over the top rope.
Yeah.
If you look at the people in this, every one of these guys is like one big step away from being like a star. Like there's so many guys in there. You could be like, oh, he could be the next guy. He could be the next guy. He could be the next guy. So that's what I like about this. I mean, Rucker wants it more than anyone probably in that locker room. JD trained by me. I got to see the leaps and bounds because I don't see him wrestle on a regular basis. So I only see him like every 6 months. Every time I see him, he's better than he was last time. So both those guys I know really well. Of course, Logan Taylor, also one of mine. Um, and he's every company he goes to, he's a big deal, and he's only like 23 years old. So there's still a whole lot of room left in that. So plus, I mean, muscles. He's a puppy with big paws right now. He's crazy powerful, doesn't know his strength, doesn't know how he can move yet. So the more he is in the ring, the better he's going to get too. So
Big Nasty in the chat saying good luck for real. And RSW's own Tim Cross in the chat. Maybe he can answer that question for us. What's the winner get here, Tim? What does the winner of the Unlucky 13 Rumble receive?
a romantic evening with Vance Desmond.
Mhm.
All right, I'm getting in there. I'm getting in there.
Candlelight dinner.
We're all jumping in.
Sammy Vince has thrown his name into the Unlucky 13 Rumble.
Hey, yo, let me hit that.
That's why it's called unlucky.
Right? Exactly. When I get in there.
And then last but most certainly not least, the RSW title is on the line as Ashton Day gets his rematch against Theo Strong.
This is
Man,
a great match.
probably the two best in-ring competitors we have in the company right now against each other for the title. Doesn't get better than that.
Wow.
That's what it's made for. You know, I've been in the ring with both these guys. Theo like 4 times, Ashton 3 times, just in the past like year and a half. So I know both these guys really well. Super talented. Could be match of the year. I mean, I don't want to put pressure on those guys, but I
No,
think
100%.
they'll deliver, right? Especially it'll be the match to beat for the rest of the year for anybody else.
Mhm.
So
Tim Cross, he says, as a question I've answered for 2 months, the winner of the Unlucky 13 Rumble gets a shot at the champion on February 28th at Fairmount State.
Awesome. Awesome.
So the winner of the Unlucky 13 Rumble, there's something on the plate for you to go
who's
after.
who's winning this, guys? I want to hear who you think's going to win this.
Oh, on this one? Oof.
Let's see. Like I said,
Well,
it's tough here. It's tough because Big Nasty's he's obviously the biggest one in the ring here, and it's hard to get them over. But you can't put over, like you said, Anthony Rucker. That kid wants it. But then you also I've seen some good stuff from Gen Z.
Yep, for sure.
And then don't you ever count out the Southern Center, Cole Johnson.
That's what I was gonna
Just
say.
gonna
Cole's
say.
fucking nuts.
The kid wants
Yep.
it. He's showing out. Brand new Mega Infinity champion. You know, he just beat Shogun Jackson Stone at the last Mega event up here, last weekend. So he hears the titles on the line, but then you got the wild cards, the Sam Handemans, who I saw go up against Matthew Taylor. And when Sam walked out, I said, who the hell is this guy? Well, he ain't doing nothing. And then he put on a banger of a match. So, and then there's 2 vacant spots here. There's 2,
Yep, I was just gonna say.
unannounced people.
Could be me.
Tim said, I just sent a match that could be better than Ashton versus Theo. Let's see what Tim has sent me. He didn't send me nothing. What are you talking about, bro?
Ha.
Oh, he texted it to me. We already talked about that. Oh, I have we have the card subject to change.
Okay.
Shane
What?
Kryzak, it's looking like is no longer available or will not be able to make, headed for a heartbreak. Lane Callie will now be putting his PWL heavyweight championship on the line against Benny Conley.
Okay.
Bringing
So
another time.
I've seen Lane Callie a couple times, man. He's pretty good. He's pretty young and good. So that's one to watch out for as well.
And he's hungry. You can tell, like all the social media content, all the promotions he works for. He's already a heavyweight champion for promotions, so yeah. I don't know how young that kid is. 21, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not even. He might be younger than that.
Big Nasty said, chill, boys. It's Big Nasty's to lose. What? He said, that's not the match. What are you talking about? That's what you sent me. That's what he sent me. He sent me that, and
Oh no, Broadly.
Kryzak is available. I apologize. So hold on, I got
No
all
Benny.
mixed up.
that
Rico
what
De La Vega is not available. It
Oh.
will now be Matthew
Oh.
Taylor versus Shane Kryzak for the RSW Internet Championship, and it
Oh,
will
wow.
be Lane Callie versus Benny Conley.
Oh, okay. So a little switcheroo there. All right, all right,
Man.
all right.
I think
Sorry, I messed it up. I got you too.
that's gonna be hard for me to choose Kryzak and Matt Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially
That
because
should be a banger of a match. I mean, I
Yeah, for
believe
sure.
Stabby Vince will be down there. Unfortunately, I cannot make the
Working
trip.
commentary.
I go to the doctor on the 10th to see if I can get this thing taken out of my arm, and then I can start making trips back down to West Virginia for wrestling.
Well, here's the question. I heard you talking about the Rumble and entry. So obviously you can count the 3. How come I've never seen you do it when I've got someone's shoulders down? Why is that?
Iron Man match. It was a tie. It was a tie. You had one and he had one, and then time ran out.
Damn.
I'm not gonna let that one go. It's gonna be
That's
for a
fine.
while.
I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry. You just couldn't keep the shoulders down for 3. We were talking earlier about Victor Benjamin. We got some photos here. Tony's been pulled up for us. You said, he was a professional MMA fighter. How was that going? Did you have to prepare differently going into that, knowing that he had those different skills?
Well, like at this point, feel like I've been in the ring with every style there's ever been, pretty much. So I've been in the ring with guys similar. I think even like if you look at Logan Taylor's style is similar, in that. So not as much. I mean, I was worried about how jacked he was going to look compared to me because that dude is jacked, and
That profile picture, I'm telling you.
he's a scary dude. So, and Dustin Alexander said, "Well, this is a first. The guy you're wrestling is more jacked than you." Thanks, Dustin. Appreciate that. But and so good. Like he started wrestling. I think he was in the class with Frat Daddy, so they actually trained together. So, he's not been in the ring 20 years or anything like that. But man, he wrestles like a veteran. So.
Cool. That's awesome. Like,
yeah, that was a good match, man. I remember watching that. We got some more, like I said, photos here. Big back body drops, and then this one right here. We were talking earlier about Shane Kryzak. I would have loved to have seen this matchup. I've seen both you guys wrestle. I don't think I've ever seen you wrestle each other. I want to talk about my first interaction that I saw with you at RSW. This was a couple years ago. You were fighting Dustin Alexander, and you curb stomped him on a cinder block. That was the first time I ever met Violent Vance Desmond.
That's usually how I introduce myself to everybody. So
it was pretty intense.
Here's a curb stomp.
It's like a business card.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I've come to find out, that you actually you trained Dustin Alexander among, like you said, Logan Taylor, Johnny Duff, some of the people you trained. I know for a fact I've seen you now recently at the RSW Academy training the younger generation of guys, man. What's that feel like coming in, right now, able to share your wisdom, able to have, people that actually want to hear it because they see what you've done with your career?
Well, to me, it's not really like a choice that I make. It's my job as the generation heading out that the next generation knows what they're doing. Like I love professional wrestling is obviously the reason I've done this for 23 years. And so I want to see it be good. So like I do anybody wants to get in the ring with me and thinks they can learn something, come on in, and like because all I've got is this knowledge. And so I'm not gonna be around forever. So try to get wrestling, a good step, get these kids headed in the right direction so that I can, here in 10 years when I can't do this anymore, I can still watch good indie wrestling and it hasn't, so it's my responsibility to the wrestling community basically to make sure the next guys are ready. So
yeah, I respect the hell out of that, man.
Yeah.
It's just so cool because, like I said, I've seen you do I've seen you hold at least 3 titles since I've been following RSW. When I came in, you were the holder of that really pretty purple belt. I love that belt so much.
It is a great belt.
You know, you were beating Dustin Alexander up. You eventually ended up losing that to Dustin, and then going on against I brought you an RSW Internet Championship match. I've got to rep against you in Ashton where you retained down in, I think it was Forks on the Buffalo or something like that.
Mhm.
Who are some of your favorite opponents that you've ever had the chance to wrestle?
Are you talking ever or talking RSW?
I'm talking ever. I'm talking ever. And today, in case I'm pretty sure I told Vincent and Tony, today is Vance's 23-year wrestling anniversary.
Nuts.
Yeah.
So
Congratulations.
it was real
Yeah.
fitting. And I didn't know this when we booked him on the show earlier.
I didn't know when you booked me either. You said Sunday, and I said sure Sunday, and then Sunday comes, and it happens to be anniversary. So yeah, and it's just like down the street from my house. Like it's walking distance was the first place I ever wrestled.
That's
Here in
awesome.
Parkersburg. Yeah, the building just got tore down this year. They're building some big, nice new one though. But yeah, so that building is even gone. I've wrestled longer than the building stood. So, but favorite opponents ever, Zach Vincent, who I trained, was my very first student. Um, I mean, he's got more talent than I've ever had. He's incredible. Aaron Draven, I probably wrestled him more than I wrestled anybody ever, and me and him just have like our chemistry was so good in the ring. We became real life friends for the past 20 years because of how like we got in the ring together and we're like, ooh, okay, here's someone that can do the, especially back in like 2003, we were hitting Canadian destroyers off the top rope and like in 2003 in the indie show in Parkersburg, you know what I mean? Like there was no one doing that stuff. And if you found someone that wanted to work that kind of style when you were a young and a dumb kid, then and so me and him have had matches. I mean, think he told me last time I checked, we've had like 22 matches with each other over the past 20 years, including like cage matches, TLCs, multi-man ladder matches, just ridiculous stuff. So definitely him. Cole Cash is a totally different style match. Um, he's just a bruiser. He's one of my best friends in the entire world. But if you get in the ring with that dude, man, he hits hard. Like it's like add a week's worth of matches together, and that's the way you're going to feel after wrestling Cash. And then some of the new breed of guys, Dustin Alexander. Of all my students, like he is a student of the entire wrestling business. He will randomly send me a clip from a indie match and say, "Do you think this makes sense that they did it this way, or should it have been more like this?" And just I'm like, "Yeah, I think it should be other." He goes, "I thought so too. I just want to make sure he still is trying to learn things in professional wrestling, and he's been the heavyweight champion and he's not done, learning." So me and him always have great chemistry. It could be because I trained him, but I think that's not always necessarily the case though. But I haven't got to wrestle Logan Taylor as much as I want. I think that could be, something that could be really good. But then we got the top guys in RSW, Ashton, Theo, are great. Rucker, I think he's on that cusp. I've had a few matches with him, and he's really great to work. Matt Taylor.
I think we need to see Violent Vance Desmond versus Chris Onyx.
Oh, I would really like
That'd be
that.
something.
That could be a banger.
I know a guy that might book that. I mean,
Mm,
might be in the chat. Oh, that'd be great though. I gotta actually pick your brain on something, Vance. So I did a little bit of research and I deep dived a little bit into your history and everything, and I ended up finding a match where it was a handicap match. You and Matt Mayer versus Abyss.
Yes.
And that was something, man.
I was 19 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so because the promoter I started wrestling for here in town was Richard Arpin, and he was a member of the NWA. And back then, TNA was NWA TNA, so they had to kiss the butts of all the different NWA territories every once in a while and be like, yeah, you send us your best guy, we'll use him for something. So that's kind of what it was. So I got sent down there, and um, I just remember Abyss is the nicest dude of all time. Like, still, like, to even like 5 years ago, I saw him and he'd be like, "Oh, hey, how you doing, man?" He goes, "We had a nice little match," and I was like, "Yeah, man, thanks." It's two
That's
whole
cool.
minutes against two people, but he's just a nice dude. It was a good experience, just kind of being backstage there. It was, because like Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, Macho Man Randy Savage. Um, DDP. I actually, the taping before that, I was one of the druids for Raven and attacked
Oh,
DDP,
That's
and then took
cool.
and got to take the diamond cutter and all that kind of stuff. So,
That's sweet.
that's
so we got to do
super
that too, which
cool.
was probably cooler than the match, honestly. But
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. You got the ending was pretty good in that match where Abyss ends up counting both you guys out. He pulls the ref
Uh,
down after he counts out once, and he counted you both out. I really did like your orange pants in that though, Vance.
oh well, thank you. That was the early 2000s style. So
Nice. That's funny.
I think I had actually started wearing trunks. I had it's either this or the NWA anniversary show that I wrestled in Winnipeg, Manitoba. But I'd already started wearing trunks, and my promoter's like, "You're too skinny. You need to go back to the pants." Which every time I had a chance, so I wanted to wear trunks, but I was told I'm too scrawny at one
Yeah, you gotta
point. So
follow what they say sometimes, but
yep,
Tim said your Spencer pants.
oh,
yeah,
yep.
the
Yep.
pleather, yeah, man,
Yeah.
it's crazy how
Earlier
big that
on,
was.
Tim had said, we're going to keep you around as long as possible. Scott had said, congratulations, brother. Here's to 23 more.
Well, thank you guys. Yeah, Tim Cross, like, there's been probably these are conversations I'm sure he hasn't shared, and I haven't shared either. So here's you some things that every once in a while I go, Tim, I don't know how much I got, how much longer I'm going to keep. And he's like, "Hey, here's my shows for next year. Can you do all these?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can do, I can do those." And then we just play that game about every 6 months or a year where he's like, where I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know," and then he gives me a bunch of shows, and I say yes.
No, and like I said, I've seen you at shows showing the younger guys what to do, man. You're definitely an asset to have in the locker room. And obviously, as a wrestler, the violent Vance Desmond isn't just a moniker. You be out here destroying folks, and you've got the titles and the resume to prove it, man.
100%.
Well, thank you,
So
gentlemen, very much. I appreciate that. I don't know. Leave my little mark, hopefully, and give some guys some good matches on the way out. Um, and if anyone wants me to wrestle for their company, all I ask is your very best guy to work. It's
Ooh.
not too much to ask, right?
No,
Because
not
that's what
really.
no,
I enjoy. Is I want to push myself. I want to see if I'm still as good as these kids. So bring them on, line them up. Let's go.
you heard it. Vance Desmond willing to take on the best guy any company around, and I mean, he's got the vote. He's got my vote of confidence. He can take it.
Right.
I'll put in a good word for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Vance. I mean, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck on your match this weekend, and
See you there,
hopefully I'll
buddy.
be down to see you soon. I mean, you'll see Stabby this weekend. He'll be holding
Oh
it down
yeah.
for the Piledriver podcast, and hopefully I'll be
He's,
able to make it down soon.
if I win this weekend and you're not reffing it, it's going to start to become a pattern. Just
Oh.
saying.
Understood.
Oh.
Understood.
So
Well,
Problem, Mike.
if you win this weekend, maybe we'll have to see how it goes next time. I see on March 15th, probably at the Ides of
I've
March.
I've seen Triple H accidentally murder Earl Hebner. I've learned how to do this and look innocent. So I'm
I
just
mean, by the next time I see you, I should have this thing out of my arm, and then
okay.
we'll
We'll
be
see. I
good
want
to
to see
go.
it.
Precursor
All right,
happened.
well, thank you so much for joining us, taking some time out of your night. We definitely appreciate it. Everybody get down to Clarksburg, Harrison County Parks and Rec this Saturday on the 8th for Headed for a Heartbreak. Real Shoot Wrestling is going to be putting on a show. The show is free. It's free to get in. It's a free show. Come hang out, watch some wrestling. We will see everybody next Sunday evening, where we will cover Neo Pro's White Noise, which is coming back on February 15th. Vance, thank you again, man. I hope you have a good night.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you, Vance.
Night.